Today I'm sharing how I used my craft with 5 challenge prompts on some fun home decor pieces. Hey, it's Beth. Welcome. Today is the Craft with 5 challenge collaboration, and this is just a collaboration I started to help us think about our supplies in a little bit different way, maybe put things together or use things that we normally wouldn't. So this is a collaboration, and there is a playlist link in the description box below for you, so you can see the other participants in the collaboration and how they use the prompts for this month and what they chose to make. So for June of 2025, the 5 prompts, the 5 items that we had to include on our crafts were stars, the color red and blue, strips of any kind, and paint. And any craft goes in this collaboration. It doesn't have to be paper crafting. It can be, sewing, crochet, cross stitch, mixed media, home decor, whatever, as long as you're using those 5 items on the same project. So this month I went home decor, so kind of mixed media too, depending on how you look at it. But so I interpreted all of the prompts a little bit in a different way, kind of for each of these projects. So first up, I have some little firework sets. So they are wood blocks that I painted white. These you can see where I painted because the tops are exposed. These I did paint, but the only things you can see are kind of like the edges. And that's just, I like to paint them even though I'm going to cover most of it, just because you can never get the paper all the way to the edge without it kind of like overlapping and kind of looking weird. So that was my paint. Paint was the first thing. And then I used scrap strips of like Patriotic paper. So strips was the second. And I have the colors red and blue in here, and there are stars. So that goes for this set as well, just a little bit bigger. But these are fun. This one is a little bit bigger. It could be standalone on a shelf. This one is small enough it could fit in a tiered tray or like in a little grouping of patriotic items. Next, I have, these are like the little pallets that you can get at Dollar Tree. And so I painted them white. There's my paint. And then I didn't use scraps this time, but I did take a piece of paper and cut it. I measured the little slats on the pallet here and cut strips to fit each board or each piece of the pallet that's going this way. So those are my strips, and then of course I have red, blue, and stars on these as well. And these can be kind of versatile. They can be, you can sit something on them, you can lean them against something. They don't stand up on their own, but you could lean them against something to be a sign. I haven't figured out quite how I want to use them yet, but that did fit within this month's parameters, so I decided to go ahead and make those. And then this one is kind of a different interpretation. I used ribbon strips on this one, ribbon and twine strips for my tassel, but this is just a little beaded garland. I didn't have a whole lot of blue beads, and so it's kind of a tiny garland, but I have my paint. The white beads are painted. The red ones are with like a red RIT dye, and the blue ones are purchased. They actually came in a jewelry kit, but the size, it's kind of big for a bracelet for me. So I use them for garlands. So, and then I have some natural wooden beads too that I picked up from somewhere. So I have my paint, I have my red and my blue, I have my strips of twine and ribbon, and then I have my star, which I also did paint with some blue paint. And this just came in a little set from Hobby Lobby, I think, of little summer shapes. So there's that one. And again, this kind of works like with little groupings or tiered trays. And then my last project is also kind of a different interpretation. I have a wooden cutting board shaped piece that my husband actually cut for me a long time ago, and I couldn't figure out how I wanted to use it. So I actually thought of a way that I could work it in for this challenge. So I painted the back side of the cutting board, and then I kind of painted around the edges just to make sure that there was full coverage in case my paper didn't go all the way to the edge. And then I used Mod Podge. I used Mod Podge on all of these that involved paper going onto the wood. I used Mod Podge to adhere my paper to the wood and to seal it in. So I have my paint, I have red and blue in the papers, and then my strips again this time are ribbon strips. I kind of made like a little messy bow up here on the top. And then my star for this one is the star button that I hot glued on top of my little messy bow. So normally you see me do paper crafts for this challenge. A lot of times I even do scrapbooking pages, but this time I decided to go a little different route, try something new because of it is June. We're coming up on 4th of July, and I had, kind of patriotic theme in my brain, and so I just decided that I wanted to go ahead and use this challenge to get some little decor pieces made up. So this is my share. Again, please be sure to check out that playlist link in the description box below to see everybody else who's playing along and what they made, how they interpreted the prompts. And also in the description box, there's a link to my blog post that has the prompts for each month of 2025. So if at any point you want to play along, you can download that and craft along with us. But I hope you guys enjoyed some patriotic inspiration this month. I thank you so very much for your time, and I hope you all have a very crafty day.